A lot of AD carry picks in the mid lane, but I don't think they've really been SHOWMAKER's forte. And it seems like they're really happy getting FAKER on a solid pick here.
Yeah, I think that's a solid strategy for T1. Also, Owner, he does have a pretty wide champion pool. I think just forcing him into Sejuani every game doesn't feel great either. So just picking up Corki, making sure FAKER's going to be relatively safe in the mid lane is good. But the Lee Sin was left up, and does he just slam it here in game one is a big question.
Yeah, so Sejuani is the meta pick, but I feel like DPLUS have looked way better when Lucid's been on these bruises. I don't think this Sejuani's been as strong, but it's such a good pairing with the Renekton. That's the difficulty in these situations. They opt to go for the Talia, could be for SHOWMAKER, could also still be for Lucid, although we haven't really seen him play that. So expectation is just going mid. Now T1, I don't think you pick Lee Sin into Talia. I'm just going to say that off the bat. One thing to take into account is we do have a counter pick for Zeus into that Renekton, so it'll be interesting to see what he can pull off here. And it looks like he might just be going towards that Kennen. Very much Zeus has been the player who will pick these ranged champions into Renekton and just bully them, just make them have a horrible time. Now T1, I feel like they could pick up an AD carry here if they're concerned about being banned. I don't think there's a major concern. They might just be jungle. They have plenty of AP in their composition with the Kennen already, so they could just go Sejuani if they're trying to be safe, trying to be a bit standard, see what Owner wants to bring out.
Yeah. Could also look for a Owner, you know, an Owner pick. Poppy is one of those, actually, so they're just going to go for the Poppy, opting to not go for Sejuani here.
So this works really well for the playstyle of T1, because as we said, they love having strong side lanes, they love leaning towards it. Poppy's so devastating in those early dives in side lanes, so if Renekton gets low in the Kennen matchup, slam him into the wall, finish him off, easy kill. And definitely if the Lee Sin was going to come in now for DPLUS, they'd have a bad time in the Poppy, so it looks like DPLUS is going to go for the Maokai. A lot of team fighting power, not really the combo we were hoping for from Lucid and SHOWMAKER. These two picks work well together, the Brave and Renata, and you don't really want to take a range support with the Kai'Sa, so we'll see, but I think it's his best pick. I think it makes sense, and they opt instead to go for the MF, so not trying to pick up a pick that is great for aiming, but instead going for some team fight and laning power. I think in particular the laning phase of the MF is strong. Very concerned about opting into the Kai'Sa and being punished by T1.
So let's see. Jhin, another thing that Guma has gone back to many a time. It's great for setting up with the Kennen. We see the Draven hovered there, but as you mentioned, the MF is pretty strong in that lane. I was thinking also about Leona, just, you know, curiously left available. I feel like just, you know, they want to target the AD carry, so Leona gets left through. And they will pick that first. It's great into MF as well, because obviously she has to stand still to ult to just drop a solar flare. Yeah, you can counter that. I
think a lot of supports, even the engaged ones like Alistar, can struggle to reach MF when she ults. Leona always has that answer. Yes, MF's going to have cleanse, but your ult still interrupted, the job is done. Let's just see what is picked up here by Guma. He was hovering the Draven and the Jhin before. Looks like it will just be the Jhin. When, as you said, the Kennen sort of opens up on the team, you have that follow-up. We've seen like Viper have fantastic games on it. And now the pick for Kellen. Alistar has kind of been his favorite he's gone to into Leona. Could also pick the Braum though, very popular into Leona, and the shield has a lot of value into the Jhin. Even if it only blocks one shot, it can drastically reduce the damage output from him. So they will lock that in. So I think overall, not a hugely advantageous bot lane matchup for T1. I think DPLUS did a decent job mitigating that. I am concerned about this Renekton though. Zeus playing Kennen into Renekton with the Poppy to assist could be problematic. And ultimately, the mid-jungle from DPLUS doesn't inspire huge hope from me in how they've been playing so far. I think ultimately the tools are there for DPLUS, but you know, it's just about that top side I'm a little bit concerned with.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we didn't talk about leading into the draft very much, but Zeus, you know, if you do give him counter pick, he will be out as we hop into the Rift for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 1 of this first series of the night. T1 up against DPLUS Kia as we enter week 7. And both of these teams desperate for these extra wins. So this matchup in particular, very important.
Absolutely. So exhaust picked up by Kellen into the Kennen, as we always love to see. Both supports going top lane and getting a ward down. which in these range versus melee matchups actually makes a pretty big difference, having that extra vision. I've seen that happen a few times. But yeah, I think ultimately what Ona's able to do, if he's able to make things happen towards the top side in the early game, it's potentially going to be complete devastation for Kingen. So we'll have to look to see how that pans out. Also, the mid lane matchup, you know, we saw a lot of Taliyah Corki when it was the old Corki, and it was really favorable for Taliyah, particularly at MSI. But the new matchup's very different. I still think Taliyah does completely fine in it, especially considering how well Corki does into a lot of matchups, but he can just kind of press E and walk at you. That's the Corki special nowadays.
So, you know, he's spotted, he goes for a quicker back, and is going to look to actually head downwards on the map. As SHOWMAKER steps forward, now he's just going to get flashed and comboed, and SHOWMAKER gets dunked on by Owner here, first blood.
Yeah, really nice play there, and Faker baited out the Unraveled Earth from SHOWMAKER. That was the important thing. You could see Owner was hesitating a bit. The Unraveled Earth gets burned. He sees, he goes for it.
And actually the push from the top lane may favor DK here, so Kingen is going to come down as level 6 Renekton and try to bully and stake their claim over these grubs for now.
And honestly, Kingen's been having a great lane. He's up against Zeus. He's doing really well in this matchup so far, and the Renekton's so strong in these grub fights.
So they should know he's in the pit, but apparently they don't, as now Faker's got a flash, and a double seismic shove comes in, but they get the knockaway on Kingen, and he is just out of the fight. So Kellen also in a lot of trouble as Zeus comes on down, and he is going to hop over to the Renekton and might just barely be able to survive here. Kingen, though, is going to get knocked into the wall, and now there's a slicing maelstrom. Kingen doesn't have flash anymore. T1 converting a huge way on these grubs.
And you know, we talk about the impact of a Renekton in those early grub fights, but Owner just solo carrying that. It's so powerful just to remove one person from the fight. In the ensuing play, gets so much value, and that stun at the end to clean up the kills. A big edge now for T1, and Owner 2-0.
As Lucid is here hanging around, maybe looking to make a move at that dragon. As, okay, just going to dash over the rocks, and now Lucid's going to flash on in. Faker getting very low, trying to get SHOWMAKER low, and set up the kill here for Owner, which Owner will be able to lock that one down. And now these two junglers that don't do a lot of damage.
Oh, D+'s bot lane.
Yeah, the root comes in, and now D+'s bot lane gets there on time. Aiming gonna pick up double buff.
That's why he's folding. Picks up a shutdown on Owner. And ultimately, Faker ends up going for... but now Bloodthirster picked up for aiming, and I feel like this is why the MF has been so strong. The first two items give so much AD. The Bloodthirster makes you so hard really to challenge and push out. And this is pretty huge from Kingen, forcing Zeus' ult in the 1v1. I mean, it didn't feel like T1 wanted to contest the dragon anyway, but without the cannon ult, no shot, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, and the early Ocean is really going to help out in that matchup, especially for the Renekton, who is taking a lot of harass, who does have a relatively large health bar eventually here.
Yeah, and to be honest, with Zeus' ult still down, I'm not sure there's too much you can do in this situation. You can see Kerry is nowhere near. It looks like he's potentially setting up a play onto SHOWMAKER. T1 are just opting out. Considering the first big fight we saw in this game was so favored towards T1, D+ are doing a good job of navigating back into the game. Now the trade-off is going to lose some plates here. Kerry has moved down. He was spotted on a ward, so SHOWMAKER was ready to back away. But this is the trade-off. You know, grubs for D+, a couple of plates for T1.
And Carrier is sticking around, but we do have Owner down here on the bottom side of the map as well. Carrier not looking to get involved in that battle,
yeah,
but SHOWMAKER's not able to approach the turret.
I'm not sure Leona and a Poppy have the damage to kill a Braum, but they will force Kellen away and secure even more of a lead here for Fake. You can see in this matchup in the mid having a fantastic game so far, matching up to Zeus in particular on this cannon.
Waiting for the E here from Zeus. There it is. Uh-oh, he does have flash, but I don't know if he gets away from this one. Not without his E and a Maokai ultimate coming in. I think Zeus is just going to be rooted and taken out as Kingen sets it up once again.
Beautiful patience, beautiful setup, and now Herald is for sure going to be D+'s. They're even TPing SHOWMAKER in to defend mid, and with how low that mid tower is, it's just going to go down with the Herald easy as anything.
Yeah, I mean, they might just be able to push in as a squad here. Owner's going to go for the helicopter and try to push them away, but a stun into the wall now, and Kellen, but they have to eat the MF ult. There's now another stun comes in from Keria, and down will go Kellen. Ton of damage was done. Meanwhile, Faker just taking a bottom turret, is going to get the first turret of the game, so that's a nice win for them. But Rift Herald and the turret on the top side for DK.
Yeah, so T1 managed to defend for now, but not for much longer.
Owner, yeah, he's going to flash away and barely get away from that one. Now Guma's going to have to abandon ship and just give up another turret to DPLUS Kia.
Yeah, even with that kill onto Kellen, still a humongous advantage for DPLUS. They don't even need the Herald to get the tier 1 mid. They get the tier 1 top, and FAKER, who's pushing the tier 2, I think he's just dead.
We do have Owner coming over with this ult. Also, the angle of that wasn't great. Here comes the ult. Lucid's gone as FAKER, he is going to actually try to fight this one. And with a couple of teammates, they are going to fight. As meanwhile, Zeus's TP doesn't get too much value, but there is a Drake coming up.
His ult immediately follow is beautiful.
Okay, trying to go for a dive here on a King, and there are so many members on the top side of the map as King is barely going to go down. I almost left him alive there as Lucid, if he was a couple of seconds earlier, maybe he saves him.
Tries to flash to block the damage from the Jhin, but doesn't end up achieving anything. This is kind of what we're talking about with the Poppy dive threat on the Renekton. But unfortunately for T1, you can see FAKER going topside again. Ping's coming out. Looks like what they want a repeat play, but Owner was spotted on a ward. Kingen should see this coming, and he will just clear the wave out.
He doesn't seem to care. He's just like, yeah, I can clear this and survive. Now he's just trying to run away. It is only Owner.
Yeah, he knows the wave gone. FAKER can't get to him. Owner alone isn't enough. So doing a good job of playing defense. And on the other side, not only do DPLUS get Dragon, but they also throw the Herald down to help with that push. They may get a second charge on this if they really want to.
And it's Mountain Soul, by the way.
That is a good one for them.
Huge value for, I'd say, both teams in this game. But, yeah, especially on the side of DPLUS Kia, I suppose, with all their tanks and an MF, as now a wall's going to come down. The amount of value they're getting in the bottom lane is pretty huge at this point in time. Looks like they want to get an inner here. Solar Flare comes down on aiming, who just throws in a cleanse, and we get a Slicing Maelstrom. Meanwhile, a dive on the top side, as, again, Kingen says there's no wave.
Yeah, Kingen doing a great job disengaging. Aiming actually waited a bit with his cleanse, and I feel like he baited Zeus into ulti.
Yeah.
So great mind games there. Does take a bit of damage, but he's got Bloodthirster. It doesn't matter. Kingen does have to flash the stun, but they're nowhere near getting the tower right now. DPLUS got the Dragon on the bot side, got 2 towers. Pretty hard to deal with. If you've lost control of the area, it's going to be difficult to get it back.
Little engage brawl action here from Kellen, just trying to make some room, as now a wall's going to happen as Keria gets very far ahead of his team, but already Kellen getting pretty low. It is going to be just a Maokai ultimate to disengage. Kellen has to flash away, but he gets hit by the 3rd bullet, and now we've got Owner right on top of him. Kellen is just dead, and Lucid might die too. He has to flash away, and he gets a disengage cone and survives.
And what an unforced error from DPLUS. There was no reason for Kellen to go for this, and now you've lost all bot lane sums. Zeus has flash ult, and there's no exhaust.
They want to fight.
Cannot fight. There's no way. There's no way they should fight this.
Well, they're going to TP, and I mean, Owner has Hex Flash, and maybe he doesn't get it off, as, yeah, the stun will come in, and he's in a little bit of trouble. Now everybody on T1 is going to stay. The knockout comes in, but Kingen is a raid boss right now, and FAKER's just going to Valkyrie over the wall, and they TP in, they get nothing.
Yeah, they even extract the Poppy. They don't end up going for the fight in that situation, don't want to risk it.
Is it really even worth it to build the 1?
There's a decent amount, you know, getting thrown about. It still gives a lot of health.
Yeah, they give you a shield as well.
Tank the saplings.
Sure. Now we are just trying to fight here for this one. Kingen is on the flank, and he is level 16. But the dodge from Lucid, he will not be denied from this pit. It just comes down to a flip, and it goes to Jhin. It goes to Jhin. How did he even get that? Did he just W it, or just ult it? Maybe, I guess. And now DK are like, well, we'd really love to fight. Oh, that's a nice little knockback. Keria in a bit of trouble. Now Lucid looking for that frontline. Keria just has to go in, knows that he's going to be kited out once to get his team away, but Guma, you're going the wrong way. Okay, well, he's actually just going to run up through the top jungle and get away. I don't know about Zeus, though.
Zeus is
buying time.
A tree in a hard place.
They're trying to, like, threaten Baron. That's not going to happen with 3 people. Okay, well, here comes King, and he's just going to flash on them. He's got aiming nearby, but King is just dead! And, yeah, Poppy's unkillable, so I don't know about this one. Kellen in a rough spot, but aiming running into 3 people, has to flash away and baits Kellen in as well. Aiming is just going to die, as once again, DPLUS Kia dropped the ball. T1 immediately picked that one up, and FAKER picks up 2 kills.
And DPLUS just get rushed into the play. They lose the Dragon on a flip. They have Zeus dead to rights, but the rest of the team try and force something like, hey, Zeus is going to die, we should make something happen. They get baited in. And the Poppy value comes up huge, shutting down King. And now they are starting this Baron. SHOWMAKER and Lucid are there to defend, but it's 4v2. And with Carrier there, I'm not sure Lucid's going to get anywhere near.
Yeah, I mean, he just gets stunned away. He does have Flash, but yeah, there comes Carrier over the wall. There goes Owner as well, just zone them away. But now he's got the pit! He went out of the pit! No way! And Lucid just going to come in and say, thank you very much. Free Baron. I will take that 100% of the time.
What a massive play there. The Baron was too low. T1, who we typically praise for their patience.
So knows that, okay, unless we get flashed on by Maokai, who, by the way, they should know he doesn't have Flash.
I think they're very aware he doesn't have Flash.
They will know that he does not have that because he just maybe pulled back the game with it.
I probably imagine like 10 to 15 Maokai Flash pings after that Baron. Maybe more.
And now Lucid is just getting engaged on. He might just die. He's gonna twist in advance, so he's still alive. Gets his ult out, and they save Mr. President somehow. But Kellen and Lucid super low. Down will go Kellen. Faker just gonna, well, shoot him. And T1's still desperate to take this T1. I don't think
they could just get this and get out.
Yeah, Lucid almost has his Flash, but it's a little bit too late. He is in the pit. There. Okay, there's the ult. I was like, what?
And Kellen just single-handedly cost them the dragon by stepping up. That you have Warmogs, play for it.
Yeah, that wasn't great. And now we have 3 Mountain Drakes here for
really posing that much of a threat. And I think with a composition like this, with SHOWMAKER behind, with Kingen struggling to have impact against the Poppy, if Aiming's ult is low value, you just lose the fight on Owner.
Yeah.
And he outruns it.
COG Owner is his name from, well, he did leave the pit on the Baron, but yeah. I think he did everything else very well.
I can forgive him for that. But, but also Lucid...
They missed that! They even missed it with the plant! And I've seen this before. That's a root. A little bit of damage. Okay, Kellen's just desperate to get away, but man, Faker does so much damage right now. Forces the Flash.
No Flash, no ult on Kellen. How will DPLUS engage now?
Yeah. It does feel pretty silly, but that's been what they've been relying on.
And now they're starting up. Lucid has Flash.
Lucid is here.
Going 50-50 again. They're just gonna. Okay, well, he dodged the ult. Oh, but the timing. They burst it down. T1 get away with the Baron. Yeah, good coordination, and the timing is
been one of our best Jins. Maybe just our best Jin in the LCK, as Lucid's just going to engage here on a Poppy, nearly dies, but now the knockout, and Faker's just going to go down in the front line, just gets Seismic shoved into the team, and now Owner's got to back away. T1 can not fight over this one, and they had Baron. This feels like a game of volleyball. We're just booping the ball back and forth between the two teams.
Good catch, though, from DPLUS there. See, they were toying with the idea of Owner and decided against killing the Poppy, mostly because it wasn't really an option for them, but they find Faker, and now they can apply the pressure. Guma dodges the engaged Rom, but the turret is definitely going to go down. And DPLUS, just when it started to feel like the game was slipping away, they find their angle, they find their way back in. Now SHOWMAKER threatening with a wall.
Yeah. He'll throw it up, and that should... Okay, we're just going to stun the front line here. Carry on a bit of trouble, but the Owner ult does come out, but it's not enough, as that only hit the Maokai. And yeah, they get another pick. So now DK, they've got a little snowball rolling here in mid, looking for this inhibitor at least, even into Baron. Not carrying with the man advantage, just able to push in and take mid inhibitor.
And you can see Guma looking for an angle there. With the rapid fire cannon, he could have done a ton of damage to Aiming.
I take that back, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I think it's 4v4. So SHOWMAKER did, okay, he got him, he did like 500 damage. That's low. Oh, okay, engage Braum again. They are going to get Guma though in a really rough spot. He nearly dies as he's able to back away, and engage Braum actually pays off here for DK, as now Jin ult's going to be open up. Guma trying to do his own impression, but that's not going to do nearly as much. And now I see the top laner, Kingen just standing in front of the team. The meat shield is his function, as now DK just going to play with all this vision, and they will take the Baron.
Engage Braum does something. Guma doesn't want to burn summoners there. He's like, I am not burning summoners to an engaged Braum. He refuses, nearly dies for it, and is so low now. The reset has to come in, but T1 to focus on...
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. We do have the Weaver's Wall up, and Owner's going to be on the opposite side of that. It's just going to be, yeah, taken down by DK, and now Carry is caught on the top side. Down will go the Leona, and they still have 2 minutes of Baron buff. plus Mountain Soul, plus 5v4.
You see that double shield on aiming. So much to burn through. And remember, he's got the GA and the mix in. He actually has very high resists with those double Mountain Dragons, 480 carry. He's not going to be an easy target to punch through. Zeus was already having a bad time. It's just gotten worse. If he's trying to take down any targets in DPLUS, this game's been so back and forth, but they've regained control right now.
Just trying to push here for the mid inhib. They're going to taxi this cannon minion in, and they will take this one down. As meanwhile, there's the engage, this time from the Maokai. Owner does get an ult away, and he is so tanky, but FAKER will be the first one to go down. And Owner also very low. Lucid nearly loses his life. Looking for that top turret right now, and they should be able to take down this inhibitor.
See, Owner nearly gets shredded there, but does just survive. So tanky, but FAKER down. 5v4. Zeus needs a monster ult here if they're going to make their way into this game.
And he hasn't had a big opportunity. Now he's going to throw it in the exhaust immediately, and he just dies. He just pops like a balloon, and Guma desperate to do something in this game, but it's not going to happen. DPLUS Kia will finally take game number 1, even losing SHOWMAKER there right at the end. They don't care. They just want the victory that you see on your screen. DPLUS Kia take the lead 1-0.
In that game, and giving Lucid Vi might be a major cause for concern. But they're going to ban the Talia, and they're going to pick the Corki. Maybe felt like the Talia was shutting down their ability to close the distance, but I just think DPLUS are very happy with this situation. We'll see if they opt for the Direct again. I think even though Renekton struggled to have an impact before, Kingen still had a great lane, so maybe they keep that pick, but they could just go Renek and Vi in this situation is a possibility.
They're playing Vi, I think, 100%. The only other question is, what are they going to pick alongside of it? And that is going to be the Renekton. So I would expect, I mean, there is a lot of discussion here on the side of Lucid. So maybe he says, okay, after all those bans that were targeted into the Vi, into me, I'm not going to play it, actually, which would be very interesting.
Yeah, maybe scared of the Vi into the Poppy, but I don't think so. I think definitely T1 are going to take the Poppy into this. I think if you're going to leave the Vi open, it's because you're like, we think the owner can handle it on the Poppy. So I expect that. Do we get the Kennen again from Zeus? I feel like that was the least impactful Kennen game I've ever seen.
Callista?
Yes, but instead they're like, no, we want bot lane strength. We don't want to go to the second rotation. We're picking Callista Renata off the bat. And Renata definitely good into Vi Renekton, but Vi good into that Callista. And we said we weren't really happy with the mid-jungle duo picks from Lucid and SHOWMAKER last game. Maokai Talia did not inspire joy. But Vi Ahri, something we've seen many times, particularly recently, BNK and FairX being very successful with it. And it looks like that might be the angle. I think Ahri gonna have a bit of a rough time into the Corki. And it looks like they opt against it as a result. The TF gonna come out again. And if I'm playing Callista, about there was a lane matchup. Getting through lane is gonna be the bigger ask. Picking an 80 carry that matches his team comp is going to be pretty straightforward.
I love how the DK fans are very into Jinx? Zeri, okay, jeez. Yeah, it's just going to be Zeri. All the DK fans are very in tune with what their players play, and they cheered when the Zeri came out. They did not cheer when the Jinx was hovered.
Yeah, and you know, it's going to be a rough lane. I think this is the win con that T1 wanted, is strong lanes in the sides. And they've achieved that this time. The problem is it's a strong mid-jungle from DPLUS who can spread that pressure there. Now they're trying to work out what to play in the top lane, toying with the idea of the Jax. They're not going to lock it in yet. Looking for the Viego. I think at least with the Viego, you can ult to kind of buffer things like the Vi ult, the TF ult, so an area of safety there, but
comfort for Owner as well.
Definitely comfort for Owner. Don't feel like he has quite the lockup yet, and they're trying to work out what to pick for Zeus. The Jax did get nerfed recently, Counter-Strike a longer cooldown, but I guess into a Zeri, into a Renekton, into a TF, they're like, something that can stop people auto-attacking would be nice.
Once again, Kellen is going to get final pick here on the red side, especially with the Renekton priority. This does end up happening very often. He knew what he was playing into a long time ago, but now he sees the whole comp.
You can honestly just take Lulu here. Like, you have Engage in your composition. Lulu's ult, the knockup is now a second. They buffed it a while back from 0.75. And you have a Vi. And a Renekton. You know, if Vi goes in onto Guma, he gets knocked up, then you ult as well to chain the knockup.
Gold card.
Like, how are you supposed to play the game? it is still going to be a rough lane, but that's a given. We knew it was going to be a rough lane. And at least now you have a range support who can shield aiming when he's trying to disengage from a Callista.
Yeah.
I think DPLUS's comp in 5v5s is fantastic. And it really comes down to, can T1 stomp them in the dirt early on? Can Owner pop off in skirmishes? Can Guma get fed? Because I think if they
Number
don't...
2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
DPLUS key up, having a fantastic summer so far. They're 1 win ahead of T1 in series. If they win this, they are then 2 series ahead. And really, I mean, they guarantee playoffs. Maybe not mathematically, but I mean, if you're knocking T1 down a bit, that removes one of your main opponents to potentially move ahead of you. And they've already performed so well.
Yep.
And now they've got a lead here in this series as well.
And third place...
That would be pretty interesting, actually, to see who they do end up choosing. You know, who ends up in 5th and 6th place in the first place, and then...
So smart.
Yep, take a look at this. Hey, it's a little lane swapperino, as nice little flash with the counter-strike, but...
That feels horrible, though, for
You
Zeus.
still feel awful.
Yep. And now it's that situation where you have to rush into, oh, we have to lane swap now. We don't have a choice. Kingin is just going to be a nuisance here. He's going to try and force a smite or something.
Smite's down, but
Oh, yeah.
definitely trying to at least chunk them down. I mean, Zeus already chunked a bit, and Owner...
You have to die to get the experience. Because if you don't get the experience, things are so much worse for you than just giving away, you know, however much gold and a little bit of XP to the people who kill you.
Yeah. I mean, you die, you lose some, but it's better than losing everything, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's just so how broken early levels are. You know, Zeus equal level with Kingin means he can kind of handle the matchup pretty okay. A stun flash there, trying to force Lucid to flash, but Lucid just to disengage with the Q. But Grubs will be started, and bot lane still going badly.
Yeah, well, we do have TF in this game, as now the handshake is pretty good, but carrying a lot of trouble here as they're trying to trade it back is Guma, but his first blood going over to Zeri here, aiming, will pick up a big chunk of gold.
That's a gold king for you. The summoner trade from earlier ends up punishing Carry, and the timing perfect because SHOWMAKER just hit 6. You could see that T1 didn't expect it, but also Guma didn't have his 6 yet. And that whole play goes completely differently if the Callista has ultimate. I actually think they were just 2v3 when Zeus was playing Aatrox all the time, and so was Kingin, and Zeus just looked so much better. And it felt rough that Kingin, he really felt underwhelming then. He's playing one of his signature champs, he's got a skin on, but Zeus is doing better. But recently, in this series, he has looked in a complete other form. And both games now having, and I mean, I know it's on Renekton, which is a strong pick at the moment, but he's just been lane gapping Zeus. The one shining light in this game so far, because...
Just go for the gold card is here.
Going for the full commit.
Full committal from the side of DK, and everybody on the side of T1 very out of position here. They're trying to just focus down Guma. They're not quite able to. The bailout comes in. He is going to be res, but down he goes. The trade is good for DK. And now Owner, oh, the flash not going to be good, but he is able to get in range of actually ulting over the wall. Meanwhile, aiming, trying to punish Keria. That's not going to happen, and in fact, Owner does get away. So my bad on that one, but...
I'd say a successful play for DPLUS, especially as Aiming was the one who got the kill. But Faker getting very fed on this Corki once again. And Kingin making the mistake of trying to exist. He's like, dude, it's fine, I can take him. And SHOWMAKER's like, I don't think you can. Kingin's like, I got this. He doesn't have this.
Plated steel caps is all you need, right?
Yeah. That true damage coming in clutch from Faker.
SHOWMAKER's like, I have that item. Didn't help me. But Kingin just able to see us on our turret. But meanwhile, T1, I mean, they get the Infernal Drake. It is a Ocean Soul that we do have. We're going to get it on a couple of people as Faker actually moves in and takes it down.
And now with that pressure, with the reset from Aiming, they're actually able to get this mid-tier 1. And we kind of saw how much they struggle.
Oh, the handshake. Okay, Lucid denied. SHOWMAKER was coming in from the bottom side as well, but no engage happens.
You know, we heard people, I mean, Carrier heard people big talking Kellen's Renata, and he's like, oh, I can show you some stuff. Pretty slick handshake there to disengage. They get the mid-tier 1, and I feel like that was a big talking point of game 1, was that DPLUS got that enemy mid-tier 1 so early, and it really hamstrung how much T1 could push up. Now, they're the ones who control this game as they need to be. you feel, and aiming will hit nothing. But a decent attempt. About 2,000 gold lead, Dragon up at about 1:50, and I think this is kind of the pace of the game you do want to be setting with T1's composition, but still, we said third Dragon going over T1, nice for them, but it is an Ocean Soul, not the most impactful Soul, not as bad as Chemtech, but I think if DPLUS do end up having to let the Soul go, it's not the end of the world. We obviously saw last game losing the Mountain Soul was a big hit for T1, and now DPLUS trying to enact that play on the top side. But it's still difficult. Vi and Renekton against a Jax, and they will just take a tower for it instead.
And they get one turret. Game has definitely slowed down from here. You see that both teams just kind of trading objectives. Nobody really going for a big fight. Last time we had it was DK up in the top lane, but T1 just said no and ran away.
You know, you get in solo queue who will like ping you back if you walk up the tower with 10 plates. In a nutshell.
You start moving towards his wave, he starts pinging you back. It's like, no, 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 no. That's my wave.
He demands third blue. Like, mid lane is like, no, I need it. He's like, no, no, no. It's mine.
T1 are getting a nice little push here. They did get the Rift Herald from earlier. They're going to take the top tier 1, and that's it.
Yeah, not much value from the Rift Herald in the end. Faker to get to his Manamune and get a stack before this Dragon. They've got about 2 minutes. Oh. The flank engage.
Yeah, they're just sending it. The Vial's right here on Aguma, who's in a lot of trouble, and Lucid is full health. He's able to get away. No, he goes down, actually. And now Guma super low, but it's actually aiming who gets taken out. The flank comes in from the side of DK, and it's going to backfire immediately. King of the though, gonna pull the trigger, takes out the Viego. And now this Krog is pretty huge, but is it going to matter? Doesn't look like it. SHOWMAKER not able to do much. It's a big fight win for the side of T1, as it's only Kellen left, and eventually he will not be left.
He's got Flash, but I don't think that's going to help. Not if you're going that way. I think his goal is just, you should just die.
The turrets.
Oh, he can go through those turrets.
Yeah.
Buying a lot of time.
You can eat the turret shots. You can shoot.
I think, honestly, the play might just be to give the kill over to... No, this is not a play.
They know he's there. I mean,
give the kill to Carrier. You could have just run under the tower and died, and Carrier would rapid fire, though. And no cleanse on Guma. Maybe they can find an angle for this. Aiming still his cleanse, and SHOWMAKER's got Ghost with the Spellbook.
Look at the hostile takeover CD as well. You see Carrier desperate to get that one up. It was so valuable in that last fight. And might just end up being a flip here. The Destiny comes in. And yeah, here comes Lucid, but it goes to Renekton. King is gonna pick that one up. And that will deny the Ocean Soul.
Just absurd that in a situation with a Kalista and 2 junglers, the Renekton manages to take the Dragon. Some calculations a little bit off, you know, maybe by single digits there. But in the end, DPLUS deny the Soul. They're going to head over to Baron and start it up. T1 know they have to set a pace in this game.
Yeah.
And DPLUS kind of caught off guard on this, but we'll see if Lucy can pull magic again. No flash available for him.
Yeah, just got to go in with the Q. They don't have much vision. Oh, the hostile takeover catches him. He's too late, and the pull comes back. T1, though, will pick up the Baron.
They don't get their Soul they wanted, but they'll get the Baron for Kellen.
Oh, just going to Valkyrie over the wall.
He's fast enough to get away. And I think T1 wanted to spend a bit of that gold. Hit some big spikes here.
Up against the Baron, as T1 are trying to push the top lane now. Owner a little bit behind the play, but now Kingen is going to be spotted by Owner, and Kingen is forced into the fight. TP coming in from Faker, but Owner is all alone. The Vial comes in with the flash, and Owner's just dead. Meanwhile now, the Lulu ultimate comes in, saves SHOWMAKER, as we're getting pretty down and dirty with this one, I think, as now 5v4 here for the side of DK. As the gold card will come in on a Faker, bit of damage into Lucid. He's chunked out in an insane way. And now SHOWMAKER just gonna ult away. Rest of the team trying to fight here. Amy just gonna get dunked on by the Jax. And not even Redemption will help him. Looks like Kellen, similar spot. Should be going down here eventually, you would imagine. Oh, the TP is going to deny it. And C1, wonky fight, but they will win it.
Felt like Zeus is hunting still. Can he find him?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. Not sure you have an answer to this one, Kellen. He's accepting his fate. But Zeus is stalling out the respawn for a little bit longer.
Harry kind of alone, but he does have his team. coming on in with the TP. Lucid now is kind of alone, and he's now very alone in the Death Chamber. Actually, he's there with his buddies Renekton and Lulu. The C1 have really ripped this game open.
Yeah, just on the back of a few pretty fantastic plays, we've seen T1 really take control of this. There is SHOWMAKER looking for an angle onto FAKER. FAKER is on vision, but he will scry up. You will see SHOWMAKER coming. And in the meantime, T1 are making some headway bot lane. So maybe DPLUS probably want to defend this.
You know, I think that would probably be a good idea. T1 doesn't seem to care about the Renekton, who is alone, and do a ton of damage to him. But now TP is coming in, aiming, trying to have a little Zeri moment here at the end of this one as Guma is going to get knocked up. But there's the bailout. The Rend gets the kill, but down will go the Kalista anyway, as they're still pushing forward. It's an extra kill onto Kellen, and they're looking for a bit more. This Jax is huge, and so is the Viego. 5-0 and 4 right now for Zeus, and the game might just be over.
Yeah, it looks like the Jax nerfs didn't do anything to him. He has just been popping off after the laning phase in this one. Quiet game one, but he's found some momentum in this. I think, though, T1 not going to be able to end here. They're going to back off and look for Soul again. Maybe take a mid inhibitor turret. You know, on the way out. Why not? You know,
sure.
Treat yourself. But we'll exit now and look towards that Ocean Soul. DPLUS just not able to do enough. 10,000 gold down. Ocean Soul secured for T1, and they are pushing.
Dane just not here as well, and the damage from FAKER is huge. Redemption utilized, but you've lost all 3 inhibitors, and it's going to be a very long while before they get those back as well. So just now sieging up in the base. They don't even need the Baron. Here comes a massive knockup, though, as DK trying to fight back. The Cleanse comes in for aiming as he tries to carry this fight, but man, they're just so far ahead. The wallets are so heavy for the side of T1 that it doesn't seem to matter.
The Ocean Soul going to heal them up as well. If it wasn't a 10k gold lead, that would have been a sick play, but I don't think it's enough right now. T1 just looking to end.
Does look very likely. Aiming's kind of got to do it all by himself here, but the damage is being layered in. As a nice polymorph from Kellen, but that's just about it. As now Guma flashing forward, they will play with their food, they say, and they will take in number 2 and tie things up against T+ Kia in the series.
And a big bounce back for T1. I think it's very clear that when they have...
Nope. They're just going to say, okay, Aiming, if you want to play Ashe, go ahead.
Yep. Going to be locked in almost immediately. And we've seen Ashe really powerful when paired with picks like the Sejuani. Has been a strong duo with it. So maybe to T1 go the Renekton themselves here. I think Kingan's laning has been really solid on it so far. But it doesn't really feel like a Zeus move just to early lock the Renekton.
Owner looks very resigned to his fate, which, no, actually...
Yep, I think the Vi value is massive. You deny it from Lucid. You are playing Vi into Ashe, which feels pretty good overall. And you could just pair it with Talia if you wanted to. You could just pick a top laner here. You could just pick an AD carry here. You know you're playing into Ashe. A lot of options available for T1. Don't really have to show your cards yet. But especially with all the mid lane bans, getting like Vi Talia at this point would be pretty strong. We've also seen like Vi Ahri be very popular recently. Vi Jhin, not on the forefront of my mind.
Jhin? I mean, okay, Guma's great at it. He wants a good matchup in Ashe, and he's going to pick it very early. My surprise comes from that it comes this early, but I guess they expect a ban on it in the second phase, so they're going to take it now. But very high prio. And the Sejuani with the Ashe, I thought maybe they would take this away, but they didn't want to deal with Lucid's Vi, so they take the Vi away. But now we got Sejuani Ashe here for DK. Yeah,
and maybe just the Renekton for Kingan on 3 pairs well with the Sejuani. We'll see if they lean in that direction again. But actually looking like they want to secure a pick for SHOWMAKER. Still trying to decide, and they go for the Renata. We've seen Ashe Renata be really strong. Limits the ability for carrier to play an engage pick into that as a result. Like, you really want to be playing like a ranged harass champion. You know, Jhin Karma used to be a lane years ago. That could work into it. We'll see what carrier... I mean, it is carry. He is known to bring out some definitely versatile
Jhin Yumi. Sorry.
No, I
mean, you know.
But I think maybe we'll go for a pick.
It's not going to be Yumi, but it will be an enchanter.
They will go the Karma. So yeah, Jhin Karma on a ban. We did say BDD play this to great effect, but I don't think an Ahri pick is very much a surprise. Great dive, buddy, with the Vi. And, you know, Karma can shield you all up. Jhin can ult for the backline. You can understand how this comp wants to play, and DPLUS comp so far is very much, we're going to kite back and play Peel for our Ashe. So with that in mind, you know, the TF could make sense and lean to that play style if that's something they want to bring out. Point-and-click CC, definitely high value.
Yeah, it's mid and top. There's that Gnar blind you were saying, and they do get it. And I feel like King and Gnar has been pretty strong so far this season, so I feel like he'll be very happy to get that.
Would it be crazy to even say something like a Sylas? We've seen Sylas Ari so many times, some good ults to steal.
Look at his face. He might do it.
They've left this pick till the last minute.
Maokai mid. Oh, Ox with the soul read.
And now Zeus is undoubtedly going to take a top laner who's going to bully the Gnar. We'll see what they opt to go for. Look at the TF we haven't seen for a while. The Yone would be sick, but I feel like it's probably going to be a ranged pick. Just to have a really stable, safe laning phase. It's been Zeus' hallmark recently.
Play Draven.
Oh, oh, this is sick actually if they go to Camille. You know, Camille, no, we've talked about this being a good matchup for Camille, but it's been such a long time since it's been consistently picked. But the dive threat from Camille via Ari, the Jhin over the top, aiming's going to have a rough time. And yet, you look at the composition, right? You have the lockdown from the top side, a lot of CC, a lot of bruiser bulk, and then you have the Renata to peel for aiming. This is a protect the president composition against a composition for T1 that is designed to kill aiming.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how they balance against each other.
It's funny, Amy has done a really good job of making himself the president. Almost by force. He's like, no, I am the president.
No,
Here as we hop into the rift for game number 3.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
And how about a little vision denial from Jonah Strong? All 5 members here down on the bottom side for DK. What are we running into?
I like how he keeps us on our toes as much as the players are, you know?
Yeah.
We don't get that observer vision, that safety. You gotta live in the eyes of the players.
Yeah, I think some of our viewers need that reminder from time to time. Because sometimes when you have the full vision, some players can look very silly doing things without vision. But you gotta realize, playing a game of League of Legends, there's fog of war.
Yeah, I feel like there's scenarios where it's like Jaws looming and you see someone coming from the fog of war. And it's like, there are obvious ones, sure, but also it's so different, obviously, having your own perspective and having to deal with things. You know, if a Camille just flies out of a brush and you have 0.2 seconds to react.
Why didn't he flash it? God.
God, when I slow this down to 0.25 times and replay it and watch, definitely playing for the skirmishes more so, and T1 just going to look to pick up this dragon early. SHOWMAKER's about half HP, so even though he's coming over, I think they feel confident they can get this and disengage.
He's going to get into the pit as now the engage comes in as that frontline owner very low, and he will eventually go down as they have to go super deep for this one. SHOWMAKER, though, so tanky, will live throughout it all. Flashes away, and DK get the Drake as well, but the chase is on. Guma looking for more. Kellen in a lot of trouble. He's just going to sacrifice himself for the trade. But DK, they get first blood and the Drake, so they should be happy with that.
And you see the difference here SHOWMAKER makes in lockdown owner. He will head immediately off respawn towards those grubs. Didn't get a dragon, but will take those.
Well, Lucid's here, by the way. He's level 6 Sejuani. He's going to take a big burst, actually. As man, if that was like a mantra Q, maybe we're getting close. I think Lucid was probably fine anyway.
Yeah, I think it was okay. I do think we learned that.
That was point blank. I do not know how that missed. Good job by Guma, I guess, to sidestep that one.
Yeah, I think Guma boots of swiftness, and he also got the fleet footwork proc, I believe.
Yeah.
But quick moves, honestly. I think a lot of players would have had to ban flash there. I don't even think it was a bad attempt from aiming, just, I guess Guma...
That is going to hit Faker here in mid, who is in a lot of trouble. Oh, he threads the needle, but Faker, he gets stuck, but he's still alive, and they turn it around. It's a 3v2, and that's a couple of kills for T1. You see Lucid very unhappy. Owner is, well, he's... Wait, how's alive? Wait, what? How did King not kill him?
Such a frustrating play for DPLUS there. That looked like, by all accounts, that was a winning play. Hope doesn't connect there from Kerry, and Kerry actually low on mana, so maybe becomes a
Ooh, that fourth shot. Kellen is really playing with fire. Has to throw out the heal earlier, so he didn't have it. And they're just going to give up that Drake over to the side.
Oh, he tries to go. He was going to go for the long-range boomerang where it like goes behind you.
Yeah.
That's a cute attempt.
Infernal Soul
is a big one. A lot of squishy members, I feel like, who both sides. I feel like it's one of those things where it's fun, you know, but the actual impact is massive.
Yeah, it is huge. I mean, as long as you can hold on to them, especially as Jin. All right, that's a fourth grub for T1, just like that. No committal, just long range.
Steal, apparently. You know, we've seen some steals today. The Renekton Dragon steal with the auto was a pretty wild one.
The Maokai
that was
flash twisted advance. Buddies, generally a fun time. And we do have FAKER trying to look for the play. That's another charm to land, but he is alone. And the handshake, Kellen says, sit down. No ulting in my face. And now we have a Jin, and aiming is just, well, maybe dead. Trying to get the shutdown here to Honor. Yeah, he's dead. In the front line there is Ash. Not great, but now we got an R into the wall. And another handshake, and this time it's a root onto Sejuani. That's a double kill for Guma, who has insane value in this game on the Jin. That's a third one for the side of T1. And T1 will continue to push.
Zeus still looking for more, though. The root doesn't connect this time. And Zeus doing a lot of work with his Camille, but T1 in total, making it work, even though Kellen had that masterful play. Pikachu baits him in, just really nicely played. Now DPLUS trying to set up this Herald. But T1 have so many engaged tools. If they want to fight, they'll take it.
All right, it comes down to Silas getting that one, as now Lucid in a lot of trouble. Isn't really that tanky just yet. Another huge handshake. Man, Kellen is just not missing. After a couple of weaker games, he is coming up big in game 3 as here comes the Silas. I feel like Guma also is getting huge value on the Jin. Here comes the ult. It's going to hit FAKER. He's in a lot of trouble up against that Meganar, and DK turning it back in their favor.
Can Kellen miss? Honestly, this guy is so insane on this champion, I feel. We know why teams have been respecting it, but he's just putting on a masterclass. He saw carry in game 2 and said, I'll do better. And he's really putting in the effort now. Herald comes down mid, won't take the tower, but DPLUS just when the game conscious, so they're at a deficit. It's about 2,500 gold. They know the threat of T1's compositions. They're not going to contest them on this dragon. It's just the second one. They're fine with that. But they are going to push in and get some vision around this topside jungle. You see FAKER playing very defensively, trying to sweep things out. So if we do have one breaking out, could end up being impactful. You can see a ward placed down here by Carrier. We'll spot Kellen and aiming moving up. FAKER should just be safe to take this tower. Another one in the bag for T1. Just pushing that gold.
Absolutely can. And DK, you see Lucid is coming on over here. He doesn't have his ult yet, but just the presence is enough. Zeus has to back away. They trade turrets. Show. There it is.
They've seen him.
Stops the back. Here comes Lucid. But that is Camille. I mean, you can't get away from this. It's just Mininar, and he is very far away from the Mega. He's just dead. Arrow is going to hit. And nope, TP is coming in. I think DK just have to get out of there. Lucid's like, okay, never mind. Just going to take the Cinder and run away. But the ability to close the gap here from T1 is huge. The ult is going to miss, and another handshake is going to hit the front line. And this Renata gets so much value when everybody lines up for it. And T1 just don't have the chase ability after the fact. And they don't want to go into that choke.
Okay, we
gotta fight in live. That is a caught carrier. That's just Karma, who, when she's caught, she just kind of dies.
I thought you were saying that's Karma from getting POG game 2. DPLUS, you know.
Punished. 100% soul point. And as DK, you kind of have to deny this one if you can.
Yeah, no.
Charm gonna miss. FAKER in a bit of trouble. Does, okay, he's fine actually. Just gonna Spirit Rush away. But now he's on the opposite side of the fight. So yes, he's okay and he will live, but can T1 actually fight this one? As might just come down to a flip, and Honor is going to steal it away, but now FAKER! Oh, he's gonna get away with the Dar into the wall. Down he goes as DK finally closes the gap, but now very low health bars here on the side of DK. In goes Zeus, and he just murders SHOWMAKER. Down he will go, and Zeus is totally fine. They get in that back line. The Ibai is able to lock down aiming, but he gets the reset. But look at the health bars and the chase potential of T1. They shut it down in a big way.
DPLUS not able to disengage. The Jin'll value is massive, and Guma's look at the fourth shot. He gets it in the bag. Dragon secured. Team fight win. Zeus gonna TP in for the Baron, and T1 getting everything they asked for out of this fight.
The mid-tier 1.
This is a fine trade for
Objective
DPLUS,
bounty.
Yeah. I think they're happy with this. The enemy team has Baron and trading is good. Now, it feels less good if you lose this inhibitor tower, which they might. The ult comes in.
Oh, the arrow, it's gonna immediately get McHale's, but the front line here, Zeus, surprisingly tanky. He's got a lot of shielding too from the Karma, who's had a good game, obviously. And at the end of the day, though, I mean, T1, they don't even get a bit of damage on the inhibitor turret.
Yeah.
So they're still ahead. They're still in a fun spot.
Plus with his dives to set up the plays. You see DPLUS, because they moved down towards Zeus, they lost control over this area near the banana brush. And Zeus is looking to threaten on this flank.
Yeah. T1 also, they're not even fully engaging, but Guma with shields can just walk up to people and just shoot them. That's going to be a cleanse, though. Early on here, Guma is taking a bit of damage as well. Not the cleanest amount of poke, and here comes FAKER on the flank. All the way around, looking for SHOWMAKER, who is pretty low. The Jhin ultimate going to be utilized. They try to clump up here, but that's Infernal Soul. And Lucid, he needs to get in. It's not going to happen. It just goes over to T1 as, okay, Infernal Soul now for the side of T1, and they want to take a fight.
Kingen has no Mega Bar. He has to try and stack it quickly, but they're all so low.
Oh man, they're all up against the wall as well. The Tarm is gonna miss, so does the Jhin root. Owner goes in first, but he is looking for that backline, aiming in a bit of trouble as the Renata ultimate does get some value, but man, the low health bars are insane as the damage from T1 is out of control. Aiming finally gets taken out. It's a triple for Guma, and that might just do it as T1 are pushing the bottom lane.
We saw the Jhin just not able to do the damage in that game one, but Guma makes it work here. They corral DPLUS in, they cut them down, and they're able to get the win. The upset here, DPLUS had such a fantastic season, will go down to T1 on their upswing towards playoffs.
That's T1, man. Sometimes they're just inevitable, and they play the better series tonight. As we got 5 seconds until Renata, it's not looking good for DK to have a chance to stop this push, and in fact, T1 will end the game right here, right now, right at the 30-minute mark. T1 take the series, as you said it, on their upswing towards playoffs, and Guma, what a fantastic Jhin game.